We are here today at Pro Italia to test out the 2020/2021 Ducati Hypermotard 950, and this is the base version. Why the base version instead of the SP? Well, because most people are going to be able to afford the base version, because it's still a quite affordable $14,500. That's a weird intersection. But let's get straight onto it. First of all, I can't deny that I really like the way this bike looks. It's aggressive, it looks like a ton of fun, and it feels like a ton of fun. The riding position is really straight up, very, and this sounds kind of weird, very supermoto, which I guess that was what Ducati was going for, a supermoto feeling on this bike. I feel like I'm sitting right on top of the handlebars. It's quite a new sensation if you haven't rode a supermoto before. Even more so, I do have dirt bikes, even more so than my dirt bike. The dirt bike, the handlebar feel further up, while these ones are still low down, but at the same time, they're right there. They're so close to the body. My legs are bent very little. It's a very comfortable position for my knees, amazingly enough. The engine is the classic Ducati engine, about 950, and you can tell there is a lot of power just at a twist of the throttle. As you guys can see, making a U-turn wasn't a big deal, because you have a lot of steering. The steering radius, it's tight. Ooh, coming downhill, man, I feel like I'm falling over the handlebar. The sound of the engine is the classic Ducati sound. It's very, very nice. And having the dual exhaust up high under the seat, you can actually hear the sound of the bike quite good. Man, I'm almost feel like I'm flying. There is literally very little in front of me right now. Ooh, the brakes are strong, even if it still gives you that sensation that you might fly forward at any time. As I said, plenty of power. And since this bike only has a few miles on it, let's try not to push it too hard. Yeah, 19 miles right now on the bike. The suspensions are nice and tight. As far as I can feel, it feels very sporty. Unlike what you might think. You might think, oh yeah. You might think it's kind of supermoto-like, so the suspension are softer or anything. Instead, they're very comfortable, and at the same time, very firm. Rear brake is okay. It's the classic rear brake, especially on this bike where the wheel has pretty much, the rear wheel has pretty much very little weight on it. On the other hand, the front brakes are very strong. The throttle is responsive, but at the same time is not nervous. Like on my Scrambler, I had to put a throttle tamer because it was somewhat kind of like a switch. This one instead, it modulates really good. You can just go with a hair of throttle and work throttle and clutch together, and as you guys can see, I'm in traffic right now and it's not tiring. Oh yeah, it's a pretty good pickup. Yeah, the rear brake, you can feel the ABS kicking in. Right now I'm in touring mode because this bike comes with riding modes, and the riding modes are sport, touring and urban. As I always say, the urban, it's a riding mode that you might want to use only really bad weather, like torrential rain or a snow blizzard. Other than that, I don't know, I think the sport and the touring are more than enough for anybody, but nowadays everybody wants more riding modes, more ABS settings, which, by the way, this bike has 8, if I'm not wrong, as well as wheelie control, Ducati wheelie control, and ABS. Everything is adjustable. We have the new LCD screen right there, which is much better than what was there before. Anybody that tells me that this bike doesn't have enough power has no idea what they're talking about. This bike has plenty of power, plenty of pickup to get you in trouble from sunrise to sunset and beyond. On the freeway, there is no protection or anything else in front of you, so you really catch all the wind out there, which somehow I'm holding 70, which is the speed limit over here, and it's not uncomfortable. It's really not uncomfortable, even if I'm so straight up. I reckon that if I lean forward a bit, I can give it a push, and it's not a problem. I don't know if I would tour with this bike, but whoever buys this bike is not buying this bike to go touring around. Right now I have the LCD on the night mode, which I like much better than the other white one, and you can keep it that way, or you can set it on auto, so that right now it would be white and then it would switch to black when it gets dark. But I much rather have that. It's very visible. The speed numbers is very visible right there. You have the RPM and a whole bunch of other information that you can glance down real quick. The mirrors are big, big, very stable. They don't vibrate that much, and there is a lot of visibility behind you. Let's see. Let's be civilized. Back to a very civilized and nice mode. See how easy I can actually go. I doesn't need to be all the time. You can actually enjoy the ride nice and easily if you just want to cruise around town or do whatever. And then when you get to the back roads and you really want to get the devil out of the bike, you just have to twist the throttle and it's right there. You can feel it right there. Now this bike does not have a quick shifter, but there is the option, which is $200-300, and it's plug and play. So if you only can afford this bike but you do want a quick shifter, get the bike, get the quick shifter, and eventually if I can get my hands on one of those, I'll show you how to install it. I can really feel the front wheel wanting to come up. Right now I have a wheelie control, but I can really feel it. And man, if this was my bike, wheelie control would be deactivated, and we would spend quite a bit of my time on the rear wheel. A few years back, 900 or so cc was the top bike, the super bikes, and now you have this engine on this bike, and somehow it works. It's way more manageable than the 1100, the old 1100, but at the same time you have a lot of power, usable, controllable, nice power. I like it. Very, very nimble. It feels very light, even if when you get off of it, you can actually feel that the bike is a substantial bike. You know, it's not like a dirt bike feeling, like a supermoto made out of a dirt bike feeling with a 400cc engine. You can feel the bike is solid. It's planted. I can really see myself dragging knees on this bike. I can really see taking it on the mountain road and pushing some. Yep. All in all, if you really want a super cool bike that it's a blast to ride, and at the same time you don't want to be all crunched up and squeezed in a super bike, this is a very good option. As I said, this bike was lent to me, so I can't quite be as much of a, what's a nice word for a hay-hole? Let's say I can't quite be as much of a hooligan as I want to, but I can feel it. I can really feel it right there. It's there. Oh, it's there. Anyway, thank you very much to Pro Italia for lending me the bike to do a review. I wanted to ride this bike for quite a while now, because it looks super cool, guys, and they made it possible. So I'm enjoying this bike quite a bit, and my first impressions of these bikes are very, very positive. So much so, I want one. But I recognize I always say that of all the bikes I actually review. It's new, it's shiny, it's red, and I want one. I thought I would just wanna ride the SP, or at the very least the RVE, but this one looks amazing. It's really good, it's really fun, and I want one. Besides that single-sided swing arm, it looks fantastic. But enough with the chit chat. If you guys like the video, like. If you love the video, subscribe. Thank you very much to my patrons for making all of this possible. Right on, and I'll see you next time.